Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Reine Des Fleurs along Ghislain's route. And we are in the middle of Ravia with Suma Benny here, trying to drag out the truth about what's going on with the Eastern Knights in Ghislain, which for some reason nobody wants to tell me even though I am the Reine. And they should all totally clue me in as to what's going on so I know what the hell I'm doing. But, nope. Nobody wanted to be forthcoming with me from the beginning, and we have to learn as we go along. So let's see how much information we can extract from this big guy here. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story.
Yes, the reason is exactly what you're thinking.
Although I'm not thinking anything yet, I have no clue.
Grace is a blessing that is given to help people live. Chrysantheme is a forbidden land that people forcefully opened up and built a country on. It's natural for them not to have blessings.
Still, it worked as a country, so the goddess couldn't leave them. Even though she tried to supply as much grace to it as the other countries, there was a limit to that. I finally understand what you meant by, it is like trying to fill a cracked bowl with water.
This isn't anybody's fault. That's what makes the matter pointless.
But why is Ghislain affected like this? Well, come on. Does it have something to do with NJ's husband from 4 generations ago?
Well, he was actually the first victim.
Really? So it hasn't been like this forever?
I can never stop blaming myself. How many times I thought if I could go back and...
Oh, poor Suma Benny. He's been through so much. What do you mean?
Hey, what do you think about Ghislain, from your own perspective?
He is... I am not sure what he intended with that question, but should I tell him exactly how I feel? Well, I feel like Ghislain is... O, which is a kind person rather than X, which was a strict person. I think he is a very kind person. Look at that surprise.
What a surprise. That was totally unexpected to hear from you.
I understand that his kindness is difficult to understand, and he is not good at expressing it. But his strict words come from the heart. He can say things directly that others would hesitate to. I was helped by his words several times.
NJ said the same thing. That's why she fell in love with him, I guess.
He means her husband, not Ghislain. NJ didn't fall in love with Ghislain. I don't think, at least. That would be awkward. He's mine, NJ. Stay away. This is my route with him.
Women value people differently. Princesses like that too.
Oh, that was sexist. You don't know, some women think more like men and some men think more like women. The time we spent together made me notice that.
Had he just been some fool, nobody would have to be hurt.
It makes me sad that they say that, because it's like, well, maybe if it was a complete jerk, nobody would care, but, I mean, if it was just some fool, then it would be sad if it was just somebody who was totally oblivious. You know, like Leon. He's kind of a fool. But I'm definitely upset when bad things happen to Leon. I mean, maybe if it was like Donald Trump, then I really wouldn't care. Sorry, I don't mean to be political. I do think Donald Trump's a jerk, though. I mean, given his history on things like The Apprentice and, other things that he's been on and things that he has said, he's not a nice person. But I'm biased because I really hate reality TV, and, people show their worst sides on it. And Donald Trump has been on quite a bit of reality TV.
But he isn't. That's why it's cruel. I mean, the command selection.
I don't know why that got me love points, but it did.
It is strange, but all Eastern Knights have some similar characteristics. They are strict with themselves, have a strong sense of responsibility, patriotism, and absolute loyalty to their owner.
That is rather strange. So, the knight from 4 generations back who caused the tragedy was also like that.
Yeah, he was a little more friendly than my boy now, but his determination was the same.
That's so cute that he calls him my boy. It makes him sound like he thinks of them as his sons. But why did he?
Even the proudest and strongest knight has something that he can't resist. In fact, that was his destiny, the effects from his country since he made an oath. There was one thing that would bind them together.
Is it?
Yes, the command. The command of Chrysantheme had once broken, just 4 generations ago.
Ah, so that's what caused it all. The command had broken, Is that really possible? Well, apparently, you wouldn't think he's lying to you, do you, Violet?
Thinking about the origin of Chrysantheme, it is natural for the command to be under a greater amount of stress than the others. So that can't be helped, but...
The country, Kaman, and Night are like a trinity. Not even one can be gone. That means...
They must each suffer their own symptoms as a matter of course.
Well then, wouldn't that mean that if the Kaman was destroyed, then the Night and the country would die? You know, as we saw in Leon's route, you know, all three kind of disappeared at once. I don't know, I guess like with all Otome games, not everything is always consistent in every route and every story.
That might be even worse than the pain they went through in the ceremony, but the Great Knights tend to hide their weaknesses.
Well, I would definitely imagine it would be more painful.
After enduring pain after pain, pretending like nothing's happening. When we finally noticed something was wrong, it was already too late.
And what happened to the Knight?
The Knight lost himself after suffering too many side effects, then instinctively started to demand grace. He killed Hanabito, as they are a different form of grace, a numerous amount of them.
What?
After that, well, you already know. It was the first time in the history of butterflies that we actually had to use our weapons.
Oronami once said something like that. The holy place parted without conflicts. But only we, guardians of the Kaman, hold weapons in such a place. It is for us butterflies to finish the Knights if they happen to lose control of themselves. So, that case had already happened before.
The Kaman had been fixed by getting grace from the rain back then, by Hubert's instruction. But that was only a temporary solution. You can see that by my face, right?
So I guess you didn't get the scar the first time then. I guess they must not have done a good job of replacing the Kaman. Sumabeni, you are the only one who has an obvious injury among the Shicho. So the Kaman of Chrysantheme is barely keeping its shape. Is that so?
Yes, and it seems that has come to an end now.
So, Ghislain, that scary look in his eyes was because of the destiny that the Eastern Knight has. He said, that means...
You know the reason now, don't you? I had wished not to tell this story ever, since that first ceremony. I thought perhaps we could get through without it this time.
Why would you think that when it's getting worse every time?
But there is nothing we can do now. Princess, just leave Ghislain alone.
What? What does that mean? Do you mean...
I will not kill him now. Ghislain is still in his normal state more often than not. And you are part of the reason too. You wouldn't want to be lacking a knight in this situation.
So that's why you're keeping him in that prison. I don't really see how keeping him alive helps her, because doesn't he have to be present at the ceremonies if we're going to move Grace around using Chrysantheme?
There is no other option.
There is. I can fix the Kaman if that's the reason.
That won't be happening.
Why?
There is not enough grace imparted on now. Think about it, Princess. If you control that much grace now, the goddess might take you over. I'm sorry for saying such hopeless things, but this is the reality.
It is a fact that grace is limited, and I am the vessel of the goddess. But I can't give up Ghislain just because of that. Buttons! Triangle down, freaking out. Okay. I always forget with the buttons, I can't help it. I hope I was supposed to pass that. Darn it, I had to double check after I record this, because sometimes I had to fail and I don't always remember. I think I only had to fail when I'm talking to Ghislain though, because, you know, sometimes you have to seem a little bit weak so he can be the man in the situation. I can't, Sumabeni. I can't do such a thing. Ghislain is my knight. I can't abandon him just like that. Oh. It always feels like we strike their heart when we do that.
I'm glad that you care for him as I am his guardian. But I don't want to see that tragedy happen ever again. I don't want anybody to see that.
Sumabeni. So I guess that's why. I think that sentence there pretty much explains why they did what they did in Leon's route.
How pathetic is this?
Oh, it's not pathetic, it's sad. That's not a good line to end Ravia on. But we gained some love with Ghislain even though we haven't talked to him. As if a broken Kaman is dragging Ghislain down, he has broken more and more inside each day, and this is just the beginning. One day... The tragedy may repeat again, demanding grace and killing Hanabito. Is Ghislain going to do that? Really? Give me the sweet things inside of you. All of them. I unconsciously grab my wrist, where the marks from him still remain. No matter how much I want to resist, I have already seen a part of it. How cruel this is. He is proud of being a knight more than anybody else and supported me all this while. Now I can only wait and see until his time runs out.
Ghislain has already prepared his mind. He just remained calm when I told him everything. I see. Do you believe everything I told you? Well, it makes sense. This burning feeling sometimes rises in my throat, and an irresistible impulse. I try to convince myself it is the fate of the knights, but it was an effect of the Kaman, the reason why I almost laid a hand on my owner whom I should protect. I am somewhat relieved that it was not all just my doing, though I still feel miserable. I know that I could never hurt Violet. Ever. It is proven that my pride and feelings are true. That's enough. It's not enough. I want to be with you and explore those feelings. Ghislain.
Sumabeni, restrain me somewhere. Ugh. Don't act surprised. Didn't you intend to do that anyway, since you told me everything just now?
I don't deny that, but I just didn't expect to hear it from your mouth.
It doesn't matter. Have you already prepared for that?
Yeah.
Then just tie me down so well that even when I struggle, I won't be able to break loose. Don't let me hurt the Reine, no matter what. Please.
Your loyalty is truly commendable.
Indeed it is. But it's not just loyalty, it's love, too. He really doesn't want to hurt Violet, because he cares about her. Oh, dear. Like I said, a little warning would have been nice, so once he realized something was starting to happen, he could have recognized the symptoms and told people what was going on. I don't know, maybe this is more of a medieval type of setting and thinking still in this game, the place where they are in Partadam. Maybe things just work that way. They don't quite have the psychology that we have these days. Alright, so in the next episode, we'll get to hear a little bit more about Sumabeni's explanation as to what's going on with Ghislain, though we've learned quite a bit in this one already. I want to hear more about NJ's husband. I feel terrible for poor NJ. Actually, I really feel terrible for poor Sumabeni too, because he's the one that has to deal with all these guys. And like I said, clearly he's a caring person and he cares about all these people. So, you know, they said the Kaman never chooses somebody, some fool that you just don't care about. So apparently they've cared about each one. It's so sad. And I love the fact that Ghislain it's part of his honor that he just worries so much about everybody, well, particularly the Reine, that he just willingly will lock himself up and not even try to resist because he knows he can't resist it. He just wants to keep everybody safe. Oh, Ghislain, you were so sweet. Let's do something to get you out of this jail. We need to have a first kiss. Well, I hope to see you in my future videos. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.